In the year 2147, Aetheria lay in ruins. Once a flourishing hub of technology and culture, the planet had become a battleground. Crulaks, ruthless and technologically advanced, had invaded, leaving devastation in their wake. The remnants of humanity's defenses crumbled, and hope was dwindling. Ben Callahan crouched behind the wreckage of a gunship, his pulse rifle tightly gripped. The air was thick with smoke, the acrid smell of burnt metal suffocating. He scanned the horizon, where enemy aerial units soared ominously. "Ben, you hear that?" came the voice of Liam, his comrade, crackling through the comms. "Yeah, I hear them," Ben replied, maintaining his focus. "They're regrouping. We need to move before they reinforce their position." Liam Zhang, who preferred melee combat, was an unusual counterpart to Ben's sharpshooting. "Always so serious, my friend. Just once. Let's charge in and make some noise." "Not today," Ben countered, a faint smile crossing his lips. "We need to retake this sector quietly." Liam chuckled. "Fine, but when we win, I'm claiming the first Krulak head as my trophy." "Deal," Ben smirked, the tension easing momentarily. Backstory of Ben Callahan. Ben had always been drawn to stories of heroism, inspired by his father, an engineer who had designed advanced weaponry. Enlisting as soon as he could, Ben excelled in every training program, proving himself as a tactical genius. The War Games, a grueling series of simulations, tested his mettle, and he emerged with accolades. Liam, on the other hand, had a different upbringing. Backstory of Liam Zhang. Raised in a family of martial artists, Liam had dedicated his life to mastering the sword. His father, a master swordsman, emphasized discipline and honor. Liam's natural strength and agility made him a formidable opponent. He was drawn to the military to channel his skills into something meaningful, and his love for melee combat set him apart. The Krulak aerial units circled overhead, their sharp, angular forms blotting out the sun as they prepared for another strike. Ben's heart raced, but his hands were steady on his pulse rifle. He'd been in countless battles, but something about this one felt different. This wasn't just a skirmish. They were running out of time, and they both knew it. Liam, ever the optimist, broke the silence. "So how do you want to do this, big guy? I'm thinking we take out that squadron over there." He gestured to a nearby ridge where Crulak infantry had started setting up fortifications. "And then I make good on my trophy claim." Ben glanced over at the Crulaks, their exoskeleton armor shimmering as they moved with precise mechanical efficiency. He clenched his jaw. "We're outnumbered. We hit them now, and we're not walking out of this one." Liam scoffed. "That's defeatist talk, mate. Since when have we ever had the numbers? Besides, you're the best shot on this ruined rock. You pick off the commanders, and I'll clean up the mess." Ben considered it for a moment, eyes narrowing as he studied the enemy movements. He couldn't deny that Liam had a point. The Krulak commanders, those hulking elites with their glowing visors and enhanced weaponry, were the key to the enemy's coordination. Take them out, and the rest would fall into chaos. But the risk... Before he could respond, a loud rumble echoed from the horizon. Ben turned his head sharply and his blood ran cold. Over the ruins, a massive Krulak war machine crested the ridge, a towering bipedal mech, bristling with weaponry, its heavy metallic feet crushing the ground beneath it. A walking fortress, it was the spearhead of the Krulak advance, and it was heading straight for them. "That wasn't part of the plan," Liam muttered, his bravado faltering for just a second. "But hey, what's a little challenge, right?" Ben's eyes flicked from the war machine to the aerial units still patrolling the skies. They had to move. "Fall back to the tunnels," he said, pulling Liam by the shoulder. "We can't fight that thing out in the open." Liam hesitated. "We could take it down if we—" "No," Ben interrupted. "We fall back. That's an order." Liam scowled but nodded. "All right, but once we're underground, you better come up with a plan, Captain." Ben didn't answer. He was already scanning the debris-strewn battlefield for a safe path to the old underground tunnel system, the remnants of Aetheria's once glorious infrastructure. They'd be safe there for now, but how long could they keep running? How long before the Crulaks wiped them out completely? The sound of engines growing louder signaled the mech's approach, and Ben knew their time was up. He and Liam dashed from cover to cover, their movements quick but calculated. Explosions ripped through the ground as the mech's cannons unleashed a barrage of firepower. They dodged the worst of it, but the shock waves sent debris raining down on them. They reached the tunnel entrance, a cracked and partially collapsed structure hidden beneath a fallen building. Liam slid in first, followed by Ben, the roar of the Krulak war machines still ringing in their ears as they disappeared into the darkness. Inside, the air was thick with dust, and the sound of distant artillery echoed faintly through the underground passageways. It was a maze of collapsed tunnels and forgotten corridors. But Ben had been here before. He activated a dim light on his rifle, casting a faint glow over the walls. "Think they'll follow us down here?" Liam asked, his voice softer now, echoing off the damp walls. "Not right away," Ben said, "but they'll send drones eventually. We don't have much time." Liam leaned against the wall, catching his breath. "So what's the plan, Captain? We can't keep running forever." Ben frowned, his mind racing. He glanced at the old Aetherian insignia still visible on the crumbling walls, symbols of a time when their planet had been the center of the universe, not its graveyard. A thought began to form, something crazy, but maybe, just maybe, their last hope. "There's one place the Crulaks haven't reached yet," Ben said slowly. "The archives." Liam raised an eyebrow. "The archives? You mean the old research facility in the city core? I thought that was destroyed during the initial invasion." Ben shook his head. "No, it's still there. And if the intel I've gathered is right, there's something inside that might turn the tide of this war. Something the Krulaks want more than anything else." Liam's eyes narrowed. "What kind of something?" Ben's face was grim. "Aetheria's last secret.